Hello everyone, this is Randy Gonzalez and I'm here to present to you the Mark Logic powered application which I wrote. The application is called the Poverty Map. It aims to present to you the poverty incidence in the Philippines in a different manner, which would hopefully give you a different insight into the problem of poverty incidence in the Philippines. Poverty incidence is referred to as the percentage of the households in a particular area which do not have sufficient income to meet the basic food and non-food requirements of a family. And on the average, the minimum income, the income to that you need to meet these basic requirements for a family of five is around 100,000 pesos per annum. Which means if you do not have an income of 100,000 pesos, then you are considered poor. So, and the map is presented, and I mean the areas in the map are presented in different colors representing the poverty incidence in that area. So it goes from blue, Metro Manila, which is having a poverty incidence of 5.4%, to the autonomous region of Muslim Mindanao, which has a poverty incidence of 53%. So if you notice, the Philippines is mostly in this area, okay, here from 20 to 30%. So if you notice that the areas around Metro Manila have comparatively low poverty incidence to the regions away, which is far from Metro Manila. So if as you move away from Metro Manila, then you'd be experiencing higher poverty rates. So Bicol has 43%, Eastern Visayas has 45%, the Caraga region has 41%. Cebu has 33% poverty incidence. So if you want to see the poverty incidence of the provinces, you just zoom in. And the application will show you the different provinces. So as I mentioned earlier, the provinces around Metro Manila are experiencing single-digit poverty incidence. So Cavite has 5.5, which is almost the same poverty incidence as in Metro Manila. Laguna has 8.5, Rizal has 9%, Bulacan has 8.9, Pampangas 8.54. In Luzon, um, the poorest province would be Apayao, which has a poverty incidence of 63%. Another province which is in the red is Eastern Samar, which has a poverty incidence of 67%. And Eastern Samar was one of the areas of heavily affected by Typhoon Yolanda. So the typhoon passed here. And the poorest province in the Philippines would be Lanao del Sur, wherein three-fourths of the families in this province do not have sufficient income to meet their basic requirements. This province is shaded in black, means that we do not have data for Sharif Kabunsuan. I don't know when this province was created. Maybe it was created after 2012 because the data that we have for the poverty incidences as of 2012. Maybe this one was created after that uh, year, so we do not have data for that. Also, for the Nagat Islands, we have no data for that also. So if you want to see what government is doing, let's say for a province, you click on this on the province in the map, and it shows that the government has 552 projects for the island of Marinduque, no? And the breakdown is as follows. So you have DepEd with 58% of the projects. DAR, Department of Agrarian Reform, has 9.3. Agriculture has 7.2. DNR has 6.9% of the projects in that area, and these are the total number of projects. So 315 for DepEd, DAR would be 50, agriculture would have 39, 37 for DNR, and down the line. So Department of Health has 8 projects for the island of Marinduque. Say for Romblon, you have 584 projects. If you notice, the number in Marinduque increased because I think there is a there are common projects for, or some projects in Romblon which were uh, by mistake situated or coded as in Marinduque. No? So let's see. If you want to look at the municipalities in a particular province, say let's say in Bohol, okay, you zoom in, and it will show you the municipalities in Central Visayas. Okay. So you have the Now with 62%, Pilar with 67%, San Isidro with 64%, no, in the island of Bohol. Getafe has 60%, and the city of Tagbilaran has uh, 11% poverty incidence. So if you want to look at the projects for San Isidro, double click, so you have 45 projects. Okay. For Pilar, you have 54 projects. For the Now, I think you have 120 projects. Or actually, 120 projects between the Now and Pilar. Okay. So if you want to zoom in, you just click on the map. So shows you that 66 projects are for the Now, and 54 are for the municipality of Pilar. If you want to see the projects for the Now, so you have DepEd, Science and Math Equipment, DepEd, Education, DAR. So these are the project details: potable water supply, etc. Department of Agriculture, and so forth and so on. So the DNR has 12 projects, and it should be somewhere here. So As we zoom out, we go back to the province map. Antique, etc. And we go back to the regional map. Okay. So the purpose of this application, as I mentioned earlier, is to show vividly and in an insightful manner poverty incidents in the Philippines, no? For you to appreciate the situation. It also seeks to answer the question, where are the poor in the country? So we see a lot of poor in Metro Manila. They're very visible, but from the map, you could say that uh, there are a lot of poor people outside of Metro Manila, no? And as I mentioned earlier, the average threshold is between 19 and 20,000 pesos a year. No? So the average average threshold varies from region to region. So there are areas, let's say in Metro Manila, where you would need more than 100,000 pesos a year for a family of five. Then going down to, let's say, the Visayas, where you'd need lesser money. So we got the data. I got the data from the Philippine Statistics Authority for the poverty incidents. They published the poverty. The latest data that they have is for 2012, and I think I picked up the poverty incidents for one of the quarters of 2012, no, not the final statistics for the year. Uh, so we have the poverty incidence for the regions and for the provinces for the year 2012. However, PSA did not publish the poverty incidence for the municipalities for 2012. The only data that they have is as of 2009. So if you look at the map, there are some inconsistencies between the provincial data and the regional data. This is because the regional data, the municipal data is as of 2009, and the provincial data is as of 2012. Supposedly, the poverty incidence has improved since 2009. A bit, not a lot, obviously. As I mentioned, the main feature of this application is to show the poverty incidence in the regional, provincial, and municipal levels in a choropleth, no? Which is a thematic map in which areas are shaded or patterned in proportion to the measurement of the statistical variable being displayed in the map. So I specifically chose the colors to range from blue to red, no, to really show you the contrast in poverty incidence. And it also seeks to show the government projects designed to alleviate poverty in that area. So remember, by double clicking on a particular province or municipality, the application will get the data from MarkLogic and display the government projects for that area. We didn't do extensive performance testing, since the only uh, MarkLogic database that we have is on this on a Mac or in a Linux, which unfortunately doesn't have a fast database. No? But we tested several times the speed of displaying the maps, etc. And I think we're able to improve it a bit. No? Now, for the requirements for this application to go live, the first thing we need is MarkLogic 8. No? In MarkLogic 7, the JSON data uh, is converted to XML internally and translated back to JSON when retrieved. No? Unfortunately, this does not work for the GeoJSON data. By the way, GeoJSON data um, describes the boundaries or the points in the polygon which describes the boundaries of a particular region, province, or municipality. So um, these boundaries which you use to draw the map are in JSON format. When I tried to upload it in MarkLogic 7 and retrieve it back, I didn't get the correct element names. Fortunately, as I read in their advertisement, MarkLogic 8 would save JSON data in its native form. So if that's the case, then we could also use MarkLogic as our GeoJSON server. So MarkLogic will not only store the data for the projects and for the poverty incidents, but it could also store the data that you'd need to draw the maps for this application. Also, of course, we all know that you can also use MarkLogic as our application server. So if we have MarkLogic as a GeoJSON server, we could have a search facility where you can type the wherein you could type the name of the municipality and we could retrieve the polygon points and draw the map and display the projects and so forth and so on. So you could search for the municipality on the region map and it would zoom in automatically. We also have to, before going live, we have to review the data that we use. No? Since I think the data that we used here is not for the 2012 or the final results. I think we just picked a quarter and use it for this application. We also need to test the app with other devices like iPads, iPhones, Android phones, and tablets, since we know that there are certain features that do not necessarily work for these devices. No? For example, the hover facility, wherein when you hover over a particular area, the data is shown automatically. I think iPads do not have that function. No? So you have to change the program a bit in order for it to work with these devices. I designed this application to work with MarkLogic. No? And the application itself is written using the Roxy framework and some JavaScript. The JavaScript got the data from MarkLogic using REST APIs. Okay. We also used Roxy to deploy the modules in MarkLogic's application server. So we do not only store the projects and the poverty incidence data in MarkLogic. We also use MarkLogic to store our source codes. So I also used a node server for the GJSON information. So I wrote an app using Node.js where you can get the JSON data for a particular region or for the regions and the provinces of the Philippines. So as I mentioned earlier, hopefully in MarkLogic 8, we can get rid of the Node.js server and use MarkLogic as the GeoJSON server. And then we also use a lot of Perl and Python scripts to transform the data from Excel and PDF to XML, which we use to upload to MarkLogic. Okay. So other things that I learned from this project is that the data in government agencies are not ready for sharing. It's only good for internal use. Let's say in a particular, let's say, government agency, they would write Las Piñas as city of Las Piñas, but in another set of data, it's written as Las Piñas data. No? So if you make a join statement, or you get the data for Las Piñas city, it will not give you anything since the data is saved with city of Las Piñas. No? So we had to do a lot of transformation or editing of text files to in order for these key fields to match with each other. We also there are also cases like the region of 4B, which is supposedly Minaropa, meaning Marinduque, Mindoro, Marinduque, Romblon, Palawan, is written as Minapora in certain data files. So we also had to correct that. And then the data comes in different formats, PDF, Excel, which is not readily usable for applications. No? Unlike government agencies in the US, where they have REST APIs, you just say make a pull from a government site, and the data would be given to you in JSON format or CSV, no? Which you need not do any repairs to make it work with your application. Okay. For the future, we could use this application as a platform for displaying other government data without further coding. We just have to uh, tweak it a bit, no, write a few lines. So the application should accept the data and then determine if, and then the user would indicate if they want a heat map or something else, no, and then the map will be automatically be drawn. Okay. So again, this is the poverty map, and thank you very much for watching.